Good morning, all. This is the Hawaii County Mass Transit Commission's meeting for November 25th, 2024. We're going to call to order our meeting. I want to welcome everyone and the public. Thank you for coming. Could I get a roll call, please, and introduce yourself?
So I'm Thaisha. I'm the secretary with Mass Transit, also the secretary for the Transportation Commission.
Good morning, I'm Zach Burgum. I'm the assistant administrator at Mass Transit Agency.
I'm Lloyd Matsubar. I represent District 9.
I'm Chelsea Ahern. I represent District 8.
I'm Bishibata Arnold, representing for Arnold Taxi.
Calvin Kohatsu, Hawaii Transportation Association Managing Director. I represent transportation companies in Hawaii.
I'm Matthew Turlip. I will be chairing
Hi,
today.
sorry, I'm Christy Cruz. I'm District 5.
Roseman. Roseman, can you introduce yourself, please?
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm sorry, what was the question? Sorry, I just got on.
Introduce yourself, please. Thank you. You just need to introduce yourself. It's roll call.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Rosalind Molina, District 6.
Susanna Tiapula, Deputy Corporation Counsel.
Victor Kendall, Transit Administrator.
Trying to find an off.
I'm Matthew, District 1 Commissioner. I'll be chairing today, so be patient with me. Thank you. We need to approve the minutes from the previous 2 meetings. So if we could get a motion to approve. Second.
Any discussion?
Discussion.
Vote. Thaisha, can you record the vote?
Could I get a yay or nay? Yay to approve?
Yay.
From everyone?
Yes.
Yeah. Any nays? And it's approved. Do we do one at a time?
We just did that.
Okay, we'll just go quick. We have some public testimony. Would like to give the public the opportunity now. So I want to introduce them if they're online or if they're here.
Do we have members of the public who would like to speak in the public testimony section? You can speak now or during the agenda item.
Okay. We did have some written public testimony. Did we want to review that? Yes. Can everybody confirm that you did receive the public testimony regarding services to the Waikolo Village area? Any discussion on that? Oh, any discussion on that? Did the online commissioners get the public testimony and had time to review the requests for a service review in Waikolo Village? Christy or Rosalind?
No, I reviewed it. I don't have any questions.
No question here.
Thank you. If no questions or discussions, we'll move On to new business. We have taxi cab applications to review. We'll do that now. Randy Pusaro on behalf of R&L Taxi. Is there,
So I'm Bishwata. I'm here for Randy Lucero. I'm the Director of Operations for the taxi. At the last meeting that you folks held back in October 2023, we actually asked for 15 licenses and only 10 was approved at that time. So therefore, I was asked to send in an application requesting 5. I did do October. On October 1st, it was mailed out as a notarized application at 9:13 a.m. And on Thursday, November 21st, we had received an email from Tisha at 8:31. Although a mail was sent out in regards to it, we only got the email. At that time of receiving the email, nothing was mentioned about the 5 CH permits not being on this meeting agenda. So last Friday, when I spoke to both Tisha and Noel, I know you guys had a lot of transitions going on and there, there's things that was being adjusted and whatnot. At that time of sending in the notification, the notarized application, on that application, which I'm sure you guys have, we had asked for 5 additional taxi cab licenses to be added because at that time we got only 10. With servicing with having all the contracts on that we do have on the west side, it allows us, they ask for more vehicles, so therefore that's why we're asking for more. So what I did was I sent in the application, not knowing at that time I was supposed to send in 5 notarized applications, but I did send in that letter back in October. And up until just last Friday, I was told that, oh, there's only 1, but I'm like, wait, I was under the impression, and so was Randy himself and Chad, who's also the other owner, was under the impression of us asking for just 5, not knowing that we have to do 5 more. Now we're willing to sign 4 more if we have to today, but to be penalized only getting 1, it's kind of hard, especially with having this seasonal. This is the busiest time for us, and already we waited as long as we did for all those years because of, you guys transition and whatnot. We're asking if we can get approved for that 5. Especially because we were not notified, especially we sent it in October and up until November 21st, that's when we're being told, okay, only 1 is gonna be able to go through this commission. But wait a minute, this is like in 4 days, like, and that was on Friday, and today's Monday. Nowhere from Friday when I found out at probably like 2 or 3, it's already too late for you guys to get it. And then so today, Monday, I made sure to come in. Usually we do through Zoom, but I made sure to come in because this is real crucial for us. Right now, we have about 8 vehicles actually sitting with no CHs, which is, nothing to do with you guys, but we were under the impression that from the last meeting that we would be okay with the next 5 on this meeting. So it kind of, it's a little bit, we're hoping that there's somewhere in here that I can do today to get approved by the 5 with having this. If I have to mention the vendors, we have Monica, but we have like so many hotels that depend on us, as well as other islands that they're called DMC, Destination Management Companies, which they bring in groups. And without these permits, we'll not be able to provide 5 more vehicles to handle the operation that we have. And then especially too, with all the transition and not knowing when the meeting was gonna be held, of course, it's like, oh, everything is just so fast. So I'm hopeful that someone or all of you can actually approve the 5. I'll do anything and everything that I have to, as well as pay what we have to pay to get approved by that 5 today, because this is like really crucial. And plus we have to still take the vehicles to get inspected. We still have to do the meter installments. It's gonna take time for us to do all of that and then be on the road by December 1st to be able to provide the service that we promised them, or at least not promised them, but we told them, yeah, for sure, we're gonna have a meeting. We don't know when it is, but hopefully the next one we can get 5 more vehicles, because right now we stage about 10 at one hotel and then 2 at another, and 2, and it's not enough. It's not enough for the service that we provide. We are one of the biggest on the west side that, a lot of people depend on us, and including the police department. They call us to help them, but if I got back out on the police department, I will, because of my contracts, so there's a lot that we'd like to provide for. So I'm hopeful somewhere today, I'm hopeful that we can get our 5 that we have been asking for many of years. Especially, I've been in this transportation business for like, I'm going on almost 30 years being in taxi cab. But I had the opportunity in 2022 to start with RNL Taxi. I actually had my own prior, so I know how these things work. But with all the changes that was going on with Noel and everybody, and it was a surprise to me that when I got the phone call on Friday, like I've never gotten a phone call like Friday and then Monday is the meeting. It's like, oh, where in there do I have room to even come and see anybody, talk to anybody? Like, what can we do? So I'm, again, we have clientele that we have to serve, and I'm hopeful, that we can do something today with the 5 that we've been asking for 2 years. They actually been asking for it from 2014 actually to have a lot. But I only started 2022. Within the 2 years, I asked for 15, but because when I left my company was 21. I had 21 total. So I'm hopeful that somewhere in today, I can at least get approved for the 5 that I've been requesting for many of years.
Yes.
As a procedural suggestion, if there's a motion on the table to approve or disapprove the requested applications and a second, you can then discuss this. So you need a motion to approve or disapprove, and then a second. Once that motion is in place, you can then discuss your application.
A motion.
Second.
Okay, is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Yes, I would like to know if she,
A motion to approve 1 or 5?
five, does she have the proper documentation?
So if there's a motion to approve 5, is there a second for the motion?
I second.
Now you can discuss.
Floor is open to discuss.
And I believe there was a question about proper documentation.
Yes, with the abstracts and the applications are all complete.
Those were all provided at the time of sending in the notarized letters. And
I only received one, that's why in our file. I was just wondering if they're brought today.
what do you mean?
When you say you only see one, you see one application?
Yeah, with the documents that we received, I think there was only 2 abstracts. I have to double check.
Yes, so you should have gotten 2 abstracts, one of which is Randy Lucero and Chad Lyman Mesa, both of which are the owners of the company. And we sent in the originals for both of them, so no, I do not have copies for them because the originals got sent into the office. Not for the abstracts.
Okay, I heard the 2 names. I seen those 2 abstracts.
And there's also the zoning that should have been attached to it. The only thing I would need to do today is get the 4 applications notarized, if that's what I have to do, which I have to go find someone to do it, which I'm more than happy to do it if I have to do 4.
Okay.
Is there any procedural restrictions on approving today?
We might speak really loud, only because it's very hard.
Do we have any procedural issues that would prevent us from moving on?
I don't know of any reason why we can't consider all 5 today, as long as the group is in agreement.
Any more discussion on approving the 5 licenses?
Yeah, I see the notice from September 30th asking for 5 initially, so it's just the paperwork issue.
The appendix C, correct?
Yeah.
Any more discussion before we move on?
No.
No discussion here.
Just to clarify, just if there's any procedural paperwork that you do need to provide, that will take a vote, but if you get requested, you can provide that.
Yeah, whatever is requested that takes to get the
Absolutely.
licenses, yes.
Absolutely, we don't want to. Move on to vote. Vote to approve the 5 licenses today.
So the maker of the motion, how do you vote?
Yes. Approve.
And the second?
Second.
And approve. Just.
No,
Unanimous in favor of approving 5 licenses pending receipt of the completed applications.
Thank you.
no other licenses to consider, no revocations to consider. We'll move on to the mass transit report.
All right, I noted the public input about Waikoloa Village. I wanted to comment on that briefly. It's been a topic of discussion with the previous county council member, Cindy Evans, as a request. It's been vetted internally, and we favored the idea. It depends on equipment and that kind of stuff. Which introduces me to kind of the next topic, which is the concept of microtransit, where you have little feeder vans or buses that go through a small community to feed a core line. And I think that's more likely what's going to happen for Waikoloa Village and some other areas. So we're looking at trying to put together a pilot about a year from now to really kind of learn and move into microtransit. We've got a couple of private neighborhoods like Fern Acres and Orchid Land and a few others that could really perhaps like Ocean View, they could really use that extra flexibility. So we're really seriously looking at that, and that would include the village and probably some other things too. I wanted to address that we have received some complaints about some taxi cab operations that we'll be taking a look at. And I wanted to update people on our equipment. We hired a new fleet facility manager about 8 months ago. She's jumped in and she's gotten things moving in a direction where our equipment is more reliable than a year ago. And we've been running up to, we had a peak of 20 buses in service that were county vehicles, and that was like a record as far as I've ever seen or heard. We've been in the range of 15 to 17 for several months, and so that's really encouraging. On top of that, we're about to receive 8 buses, brand new buses. They're from a company called it's a hometown bus that's based on a trolley design that they've been converting. We've got 2 short-term purchases for vans for paratransit with an additional 7 that we're working on. And then we're going to receive 4 battery electric buses in late spring of 25. And we'll be ordering another 4 of those. And we're also looking at a purchase of 5 motor coach, rebuilt motor coach buses for consideration for the longer distance and more reliability for our very small motor coach. So that kind of wraps up what I wanted to say, other than I decided to move back to Oregon by the end of the year. And so I did share my resignation with the managing director, and wanted to let you know that Zach here will be at least temporarily, the administrator after the end of the year. So there's that, and I really enjoyed this role, and it was very, it felt good to serve the county and be able to provide some good direction in some areas that I think are important. Speaking of, I wanted to talk about free fare that ends December of 25, and I've already kind of taken a soft approach to reaching out to county leadership, which now looks like it might be a little bit different than what I previously requested, but so far there's been a lot of interest in figuring out how to continue that free fare beyond December of 25. So that's something that I think our team values internally and will be pursuing going forward. And that's all I have.
Any questions or discussions regarding?
You said that you might have something for Waikolo, the transit, paratransit for the village. I mean, later part of 2025.
They are definitely going to be considered seriously for a year from now, either with our microtransit or as we get these buses online. And we also are dealing with an operator crunch, and that's been kind of affecting our service now. I'm hoping that will resolve and the new buses will be used for more service like a shuttle, but I'm not going to say that that's going to happen for sure. One of the things that we will be considering at the next Transportation Commission meeting is adjustments to Chapter 18. And we had quite a few edits on that previous to me coming on board. We didn't get a chance to review it. I asked my team to take a second look. We want to include some language about a non-CDL driver for vehicles that are under 14 passengers, which is a legal way of approaching that and expanding our driver force. So that's one of the possible solutions. So but Waikoloa Village is definitely fully on our radar.
Because I've been attending a lot of the community meetings, and they like, because I go to the meetings now in my district as much as I can, and the biggest complaint that I got is we've been underserved. They said, I know that, but it takes time. So I said, let me work on it, and I'll give you an answer as soon as I get an answer. Because they really wanted one answer about when. Especially now because of the fire watch. Because we have a lot of people that don't drive in the village. They're elderly and they cannot drive. So part of 3 groups in Waikoloa itself. So they question me the question me is, how am I going to get out when you're on fire? I talked to the community police officer. So the last time we had the fire, they actually transported a lot of the seniors that couldn't go out, especially when they went to door, because they didn't know who to call.
In regards to that and PSPS, we've been working internally on a policy to look at actual evacuation. We've been working with civil defense in recent months to kind of solidify the relationship between evacuation and civil defense response, and using our buses and our equipment to assist with that. So that's a kind of a recent development.
Yeah, I've understood that there is going to be a plan of the emergency management that I know of that's going to happen for Waikoloa.
Yeah.
When that's going to be, we're not sure yet. But I know it's going to be in 2025. That was one of the biggest problems this last fire, the amount of time it took us to get everybody out of it. And a lot of people tried to go back in because they were working. They tried to go back in. A lot of people You didn't let them to go back in already because, you know, a fire was spreading already, so.
Thank you for your comments. Any more discussion? I just had one question, the ridership. In previous meetings, which I previous director shared with us the initial or the original intent was to drive up rider participation. Is there any movement on?
There's definitely been a moderate increase. There was a nice sized increase just before I got here. And then since I've been here, it's kind of stabilized on the fixed route. Paratransit has pretty much exploded, and it's really been challenging for us to keep our equipment on the road. That's why we're jumping through hoops to make these purchases. That kind of ties into fare free, and I wanted to mention that one of the things that we are really looking at is passenger behavior, because a lot of people tie passenger behavior to free fare, and it's really not the case. In the transit world, you have bad people ride the bus, whether they're paying a fare or not. And so what we want to really do is look at the behavior. Like, you can't just ride all day, and you have to behave on the bus. And so we're looking at a little bit more expanded security. In the RFP that we're putting out, I've asked for 2 in the field supervisors to be able to respond to customers and or driver issues on the road, that kind of stuff.
How do you handle it now?
We have a small security force, and we have operators who manage it, some more effectively than others, and the request for police for. We also use trespass forms to inform passengers that they're not allowed on the bus. There's a process in place that notifies them, and they have an appeal process that they can go through.
Is there a camera system on all the buses?
Yes.
There is. That is monitored by the driver,
It's not-
or
It's not monitored, it's recorded.
it's just with a card? Only for police?
All of the older ones are cards. I think the newer systems are going to be able to transmit, and I believe so.
Wi-Fi signals. Yeah. That would be without fare system if we're gonna go back into.
Well, it's gonna be anybody regardless of fare.
Oh, regardless.
Yeah.
Another thing, Robert's Hawaii, is that contract gonna end?
Yeah, it ends February 25th, I believe, of this 25, so a few short months.
We're not extending their contract?
We extended it to the limit that we were allowed to, and now we're putting out our RFP.
Any more questions?
Did we lose the other commissioner? Oh, no, she's there.
Yeah.
No questions? We'll move on. Announcements, future agenda items. We have a tentative meeting set. We can discuss that for February 24th. I would like to see if we could get everyone to agree on a date, so there's no issue with quorum. What's offered is February 24th, if everyone could take a look at their calendars and make sure that works for everyone.
Yeah, reviewed it. I'm okay with the date.
I'm available.
I'm okay with the date as well. Sorry, today I'm actually in Oahu for negotiation, but I told them I needed to come to this meeting, so Sorry about that.
Thank you for that. Just so we're clear, we have the minimum number. So we would like everybody to participate as much as you can, yeah.
Yes.
As far as new business, we would like to add also election for a chair.
Do you want us to just nominate?
We can do it at the next meeting.
Okay, okay.
Any other agenda items?
No.
Want to add?
Can they email, or can people think about it in the coming weeks and email? They should have done.
Yeah, we can do that.
Oh, the meeting on the 24th, is it still at 9 a.m.?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
I would like, if we do have some new members, to also add to the agendas any reading that they may need as well. I think that'd probably be a good idea for our commissioners.
If you'd like an agendized, maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes, I could do a 15-minute overview with material on parliamentary procedure and sunshine, and also a quick update on the multimodal plan. And I can do it in 20 minutes and provide you with checklists and other material that might be useful. So I'll make it short. If you want that on the agenda.
Okay.
Last day, one of the other, or we've had some previous meetings where we had a full mass transit report. Could you provide that as well? Just real in-depth ridership detail areas the board can consider, some of the maybe just observations in service, and some of the good work the mass transit has been doing with developing the bus stop. I know that's been a big discussion. The Kona facility as well.
Sorry.
Anything else?
Nope.
All right. Hopefully we can get the meetings back online for 2025. And if there's no other business, we're going to call to adjourn. Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Can I get a second? Second. All right, just we're adjourned.
All in favor?
All in
Thank you,
favor?
guys. Bye. Bye. Thank you.
You can all talk about it in the right minutes.
Thank you. We're going to try and do better.